Hello and welcome to the latest instalment of the Rangers Women's Supporters Group podcast. The three of us are back this week. Kind of regretting that. But how are you both doing?
But annoyed still, after our performance today and recent performances, but, that's goes with territory watching Rangers.
Car?
I am fine.
We'll just head right into it then. We're obviously back at Ibrox today, taking on Glasgow City. The fixture had been switched. It was meant to be at Petershill Park, but they had some problems with their floodlights. They had teeny tiny ones instead of big boy floodlights, so it was moved to Ibrox. Kind of healthy crowd in Alan. Would have liked more, but I suppose it was fairly reasonable for a 3 o'clock kickoff for a Saturday.
I don't know. I personally was a bit disappointed with turnout for a big game against City. Can't ask for much more. 3 o'clock on a Saturday at Ibrox. It's no difficult to get to, but people are turning up in numbers for bigger games, and they're not getting the performances to bring him back. So quite a low crowd, considering what we'd probably be hoping for. But it was kind of short notice. The game was changed, so perhaps that was a factor in it.
Yeah, Car, as Alan touches on there, the performances aren't matching or getting a bigger crowd in, really. So I think maybe until that changes and people see that these games are worth going to out with the people that usually go, then the lower crowds might continue.
Yeah, I mean, you have to put on a performance that makes people want to come back. As annoying as it is, people should want to come and support the women's team, but you need to give them a reason if they're not already interested. And they've not done that so far. Look at the Celtic game. I think there was just under 2,000 there. So more people are showing up for those games. But you put in a kind of rubbish performance, end up drawing that game. People are probably going to give it a miss. It's freezing cold, it's lashing rain, it was hailstoning at one point. People would rather just sit in the house and watch it because they can do that if they've got Sky. So they need to kind of buck up the ideas and put on better performances and put on a show, so to speak, so people actually want to come along.
Yep, so we'll get into the game. The starting lineup was Fife, Docherty, Eddie, Hill, Medag, Devlin, Howitt, McCauley, Arnott, McLaughlin and Wilkinson. Much what you expected, Alan?
Probably. I think the big two talking points are, the goalkeeper situation. A game of just sort of rotating goalkeepers, and I think Vic's taking a fall for us being defensively poor lately. So that's given a free pass to the centre backs, and Charlie Devlin playing. I've yet to see why she's earning a start in front of 5 or 6 different options that were on the bench.
Yeah, anything to add to that, Car?
No, not really. I echo everything Alan's just said, and never thought I'd see the day that I'd be happy at Jenna Fife was in goal, but she played a blinder and kept us in a good game. So it's exactly what we need. I fully agree with the Charlie Devlin thing. You've got Megan Bell there, you've got Jodie McCleary there, you've got Camille Lefay that could come in and play there. Kirsty McLean's obviously just back from injury, so could only do 45 minutes, but potentially could have started the game, offered us a bit more in the first half, and score a few goals would be all right. But Jo makes the decisions, and she lives and dies by those decisions. So
yeah, so we started off the kind of way we usually do, Alan. A bit kind of sussing out the other team. We did have a good chance. Wilco probably should have passed it to Mia, but she's in or has been in a fairly good run of form, so thought she could kind of take it herself. But I think in these bigger games, players need to kind of get the head up and look for options around them rather than just kind of hitting and hoping and seeing what happens.
With 19 goals already this season, I don't really blame Katie Wilkinson for taking the shot on. She made some space, but I'd rather our strikers had actually passed the ball to Mia McCauley in that box in front of Copeland Road. That would work out well for us in these big games. But Mia done brilliant all game. She found a lot of space and just too often wasn't being found. There were chances throughout the game that we could have played more on time and space, but unfortunately it wasn't to be.
Yeah, we can't, and then we ruined that missed opportunity because pretty much straight away Glasgow City take the lead.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were going to go into the chance they had before that. Jenna makes a good save in like the 5th minute, but we'll skip ahead.
I was just bored. Had to go
We'll
with it.
rattle on. We'll go to the goal. It just cuts open. Wilco potentially fouled. I've not seen that part of her back. I've only seen the goal back, so I don't. She probably is fouled, but we need to be better at getting back the ball. Well, I don't know their names, but their players just waltz through us. Nobody in the midfield can get hold of the ball or get near it, and then it goes to the back line, and there's no one there to sort it out. Just kick the ball out, do something with it, and instead they just waltz right through it and score. It's far too easy. It's just calamitous almost. It's just horrendous, and we need to sort it out, to be honest, because I don't understand. It just keeps happening time and time again. They just waltz through us, and we don't seem to do anything about it.
Yeah, we seem to really be missing. Well, Eddie obviously did make a return, but we'll come to that later. But Chelsea and Eddie in there, our midfield just kind of, as they near the now, players or teams are just kind of getting through that middle bit, and then the defence is not really holding much either after being so strong for the start of the season.
Yeah, I think the midfield was just flat today. You know, Tess is always going to be a solid presence in there, but usually you get a bit more energy out of Liv. But you know, we spoke lately about Liv being completely knackered and ran into the ground and needing a wee bit of a break. And you know, that lack of energy and getting nothing in front of him, you know, from Charlie. We've been playing Kirsty Howitt in there, and she's been helping the midfield out a lot with a lot of the press and a lot of the work, but you know, there was nothing happening in front of Tess and Liv in that first half, and you know, we really struggled to sort of get the ball moving forward and hold it further forward. But you know, getting played through for that goal, Katie's got to be a wee bit stronger. You know, if it was a foul, it was quite a soft one. You know, but loads of chances to get the ball sort of cleared and get back into shape. But we're diving into tackles and, you know, falling into tackles and, you know, never really looked like we were going to stop that attack. And, you know, just left Jenna exposed. And, no, I don't think, we haven't seen it back, I don't really think at the time that Jenna could have done much more.
No, I don't think so. We had obviously other chances, but we seem to just be stuck in this rut of playing round about the box, put the ball into the box, but nobody's really there for it. We're just in a total rut, considering we were so prolific at the start of the season and everything was falling in our favour. We just seem to be really struggling to take the shots and them actually get on target or go in the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only person that took a shot from distance was Charlie Devlin, and had that gone in, we'd all be saying very different things about her on this podcast compared to what we have been saying. But we just seem to want to walk it in. We want to take 6 or 7 touches, pass it between us before anybody does anything with it. And I don't know if that's something they've been told to do. It must be, because there's no way that they're suddenly all going to start doing that for no reason. They've obviously been told to do that. Try and get it round, break down their back line and get the ball into the box, but it's not working. So we need to do something to change that. Joe was always really good at changing things within the game to suit the opposition, to make sure that we'd create chances. And that seems to have gone out the window a little bit the last few games. And I don't know why that is, due to fatigue, due to whatever it may be, but it needs sorted out, because we can't keep expecting that we'll get lucky almost, as the game turned out at the end. But we can't do that. Take shots from distance. There's no harm in doing that, because some of them might go in. I don't get it.
Yeah, like on Carr's point there, if he's taking shots for distance, it also gives the defender something else to think about, because they're not sure where the next kind of ball's coming from. Whereas now they know they're going to dance about the edge of the box, hit a ball in, it's going to hit off a defender, and we'll just clear it. So we're so like obvious what we're doing, and then that variety of shots outside the box that we had probably last season just doesn't seem to be there.
Yeah, by my reckoning, we've only scored 3 goals for outside the box this season, you know, and that's us up to about 53, 54 goals or something. So, You know, it's definitely not enough. And even how slow we are in play, you know, try to get the ball back after a throw-in, waiting so the right person takes the throw-in. You know, we're hesitating too much at corners, deciding we've got to take short corner, what routine we're doing, you know, and we're just too slow getting the ball moving. You know, we need to move the ball around quicker. We need to have more energy, and we need to sort of move centre backs a bit more. You know, Glasgow City's two centre backs, two I've not seen play before, but they were outstanding today. You know, and they had the number of Katie Wilkinson and Kirsty Hewitt for pretty much the duration in the game.
Yeah, unfortunately. So then City had another chance, but obviously never came to anything. I think Charlie had that chance that he touched on, Carr, and then it ended up 1-0 at half-time to Glasgow City. So we kept them kind of at bay, but we were just giving them too much space, especially considering you said they'd fell off the cliff, but they seem to have, I don't know if we were giving them too much opportunities or what, but they went in leading at the break.
I mean, if you want to throw me under the bus, that's fine. But from what I'd seen of them in the start of the season, they were struggling a bit, but they seem to have fixed it pretty quickly. So something that we need to figure out how to do would be nice if we could figure out how to fix the issues that we're having. But if not for Jenna Fife, we go in 3-0 down at half time. So, I mean, by the airs and graces of Jenna's left hand, she keeps it 1-0, and we're doing not bad. But obviously, Jo's gone in at half time, probably gone through them as she needed to, because, I mean, in her post match, she said slow, lacked energy and enthusiasm. I mean, if you can't get up for playing against your title challengers at Ibrox, I mean, what's the point? You may as well just not bother, because I don't understand how you can't be bothered to show up for the first half. It was comical at times. You just couldn't get the ball, and then we're just giving it straight back to them. It's bizarre. I honestly don't get it. I'm annoyed about it, to be honest.
Yeah, Alan, it did help that we were also giving them chances, as Carr had touched on earlier, balls coming off our own defenders and forcing Jenna into saves and everything was just, as Carr is comical, that we're been so dominant to actually try to gift them goals.
Yeah, the one where it's came through, and you know, we've basically passed the ball to a Glasgow City player. Balls came in. Cathy slid in to clear it, and it's cannoned off Nick and produced an absolute wonder save out of Jenna. You know, it was just it's comical, some of the errors, and you know, I can't for the life of me put my finger on why a defence with so much experience is just really struggling right now. You know, and Leah Eddy's been brilliant for us since she signed, but you know, she had a torturous time today, and I'm surprised that Jo didn't bring on Laura Rafferty and take her out the firing line.
Oh, definitely. So, some good news to at least talk about Carr. At half-time, we're thinking, is somebody going to come on? Please send somebody else on. And thankfully, our prayers were answered, and Kirsty McLean is back. She came on for Tess Madag at half-time.
I mean, I was buzzing to see Annie back, Kirsty McLean back, but I mean, the choice of taking Tess off was bizarre to me. Obviously, she didn't offer that much. I mean, none of them did in the first half, to be honest. But you could have brought Charlie off and had Tess in there as more of a defence to let Annie just go and run about and do what Annie does best. Do the step overs, drive forward. Tess can sit back a little bit deeper and do the defensive work. But instead, she takes Tess off, which is bizarre to me, I don't know, but just buzzing to have her back. And as soon as she came back on, it just shored us up a bit. It just settled everyone down a little bit, knowing that there was somebody from the defence in front of them that was willing to do that would just drive forward and take a bit of pressure off of them. So it's good to have her back. Hopefully she can get back to 90 minutes very soon, if not after the international break, and we'll be rocking and rolling again.
Yeah, good to see Kirsty McLean back, and as Carr said, the difference was noticeable pretty much when she came on. I think she had a few dodgy touches at first, but she's been out for quite a wee while, so I think we can forgive her for that. But the difference she made coming on was night and day.
Oh, definitely. Once she shanked the first couple of passes out of play, you know, the step overs were back, you know, the sort of cutting passes, the sort of long passes that are finding the players out wide, you know, it was almost like she hadn't been away, you know, and it was a reminder of just sort of what we've missed, you know, and it's great to see her back and she's looking fit, you know. It's a big ask in her first game back. She plays 45 minutes. You know, we'll see how she sort of reacts to that and training over the next few days, and you know, see what she plays next week against Hibs. But you know, getting some good training in this week, getting some game time next week at Hibs, and then the international break will come at a perfect time for young Kirsty. But absolutely brilliant to see her back.
Yeah, we had some more chances. I think Charlie Devlin started firing shots here, there, and everywhere, but it still wasn't really clicking for us until Rio Hardy came on for Charlie Devlin. Brogan also came on for Lizzie. I think Lizzie never really had much joy today, but it seemed like more because nobody was wanting to pass there rather than her actually not having a good game. But the energy Brogan obviously brings, we've spoken about before, and Rio came on with bags of energy as well, and she eventually got us back in. Well, she eventually scored and got us back on level terms.
Yeah, I mean, the difference having Rio come on, it looked like Rio of last season. She had bundles of energy, was running out there, centre backs with pace. I don't know, I think it was before this goal or potentially after. She had another good chance. Wilco had a few chances. We were creating more, I think, because we were actually using the wings instead of just passing it around the middle of the park and it getting booted away from us. But you know, Annie is integral to this goal. She sees Wilco open, manages to keep the ball, gives it to Wilco, who does excellently to kind of dummy the defender, and then sees Rio open, passes it across the middle of the box for her, and all Rio needs to do is hit it into the back of the net. And it was nice to see that as much as they wanted to celebrate, they immediately went and got the ball and took it back to the centre circle. I could say it, the centre circle, to get things back going again, which obviously is dumb because you have to wait for the other team to go. But it's kind of annoying that they don't get to celebrate that. They don't get to enjoy that moment because they know that they need to go and win this game, so they need to kick back off again. But I mean, a fantastic goal and exactly what we needed to just kind of liven things up and get back in it.
Yeah, it certainly did liven us up, Alan. I think we were lucky for Rio not to set Wilco up to put us into the lead. I think it was kind of the same kind of ball through, but Rio obviously after just scoring was wanting to kind of fire us into the lead and it kind of went out, but we were lucky not to take the lead.
Yeah, I think Samantha Van Diemen had done really well against Katie Wilkinson all game, but Rio bellied her off the ball, you know, and it must have been sort of Kimberly Smith in the middle, just blocked off the angle for Rio to square because Katie Wilkinson was free in the centre of the box, but I just don't think the pass was actually on. So Rio's tried to go herself, and you know, it certainly looked after we scored. There was only one team going to score the next goal, and it was us. It was just a case of trying to keep knocking on the door and, you know, find a way, which, you know, unfortunately we couldn't. But it was certainly, both Joe and Rio said in post-match interviews with the club that it was a game of two halves, and you know, I think that's a pretty fair summation.
Yeah, definitely, Car, because they were trying to go forward, but then Kathy had really stepped up the second half and was getting her tackles in. She was making the tackles, and she was doing much better. So in the second half, there was no real threat for them. It was all pretty much us, but it just wasn't falling in our favour.
No, and whatever happened to Kathy at half time, if she could just do that every game, that'd be great. But at the start of the game, before half time, she didn't have a great first half. I'll just say it wasn't great because I don't know. Anyway, second half, she was phenomenal. She was tracking back, making great tackles, clearing the ball, doing what needed to be done. We were creating a lot of chances. It was all us. I think City maybe had one clear-cut chance in the second half to go and get a goal, but we were on top of everything, doing everything that we should have been doing in the first half. We just couldn't find that final pass or the final bit to get another goal, but we were creating everything, and right up until what was the 95th minute, whenever the game ended, we were still, you know, pushing forward and creating things with Brogan, and when Jodie comes on, creating things.
Yeah, Jane came on about 80 minutes. Jodie was on at 90 minutes. Wilco went off. Mia went off. And I think we're just, as we've said, unlucky not to kind of score again, Alan, and it ended 1-1.
Yeah, always staggers me that, you know, you're chasing a goal to try and win the game and you're making subs in the 91st minute. You know, it's not really going to give Jody, it was at this time, you know, much chance to influence the game. I think the best chance we didn't score in the second half was Katie Wilkinson's header. It was kind of point blank straight at Lee Gibson, you know, and if she just managed to get a wee bit less on it maybe and keep it going the way it was going, you know, that was in and probably won the game for us. But she was really unlucky because she meant to head her well, you know, brilliant play. I think it was me that flung the cross in, but you know, on another day they might have went in, but as Carl said, if it wasn't for Jenna, you know, the game was finished at half time. We're now sitting here talking about Rio scoring an equaliser.
Yeah, so another game against title rivals, and it's another couple of points dropped, which seems to be a factor, especially in home games. I think last season it seemed like we had City's number a bit, but then we seem to have fell back into this kind of drawing against them again. So do you think it's maybe a psychological thing with the team? Because it's been a factor with Malky's teams, and now obviously it's happening with Joe. So obviously I see people are obviously wanting kind of Joe gone and stuff like that, which seems maybe a bit presumptuous. But do you think it's more a kind of psychological issue that they're playing the occasion rather than the games, or they're maybe too in their heads about previous results?
Potentially, there's definitely something not right. But then this game's a bit of an outlier because the last 3 games we've been not great. But in previous meetings with them, where we should have gone and absolutely dominated them, and we did, but we couldn't find the winning goal, we've gone and drawn. But for some reason, when we go to Petershill Park or we play Celtic away, we manage it fine. We'll go and find that last minute winner and be able to keep pushing, that kind of thing. So I don't know if it is psychological. I mean, it must be. That's the only reason that I can think of that would cause them to have issues like that. Is it the bigger attendances? Is it more eyes on them? Is it more pressure? But that shouldn't really matter. You just go and play a game. We play a certain way, you play that way regardless of who you're playing against. Yes, City and Celtic are going to be better and they're going to offer more against us. But you need to find a way to better them. And I think we're a better team than them. But obviously not, because we've come in 1-1. It's another draw against them and more drop points.
Anything to add to that, Alan?
Not really. I think Carl's covered pretty much all the bases. We had a good record against Glasgow City last year. We drew the first game with them 1-1 at home, you know, like we did today, and then beaten the other 3 games we played against him. So by and large, Joe's got a good record against Glasgow City, but we need to play so much better. You know, we are very fortunate that game wasn't out of our reach at half time. You know, and Joe said in our interview with Lewis on the club's channel that she couldn't tell him a lot of what she said at half time. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if the game's dead and buried at half time, you know, kicking people up and down the dressing room isn't going to make any difference, you know, if the game's gone. We need to be starting better.
Yes, definitely. So, player of the match, Car?
Do you know, for the first time in history, I think we're going to give it to Jenna. Just purely because those 2 saves, which one of them should never had to make it, because Nick and Kathy need to be doing better to not even create that chance for Glasgow City. But she kept us in that game, and yes, she didn't have really much to do in the second half. But she's gone and kept us in it to the point that we could come back and equalise. So I think first time in history, it's going to be Jenna Fife.
Need to get that clipped up for TikTok.
No, I said that game, you know, Carl's obviously went first, but Jenna for me, you know, the game's dead if it's not for Jenna. And more than just the saves, you know, we've played ourselves into trouble in these games a lot, overplaying it back. You know, Jenna's kicking was spot on today, you know, her decision making, you know, when to go long, when to try and pass out to the back, you know, her handling was good, you know, everything Jenna needed to do was good, and it did help give us some sort of stability at back when the defence have been struggling, and I think you need to, whoever's in goals, to just settle him down a wee bit.
Yeah, it's a hat trick for Jenna, because I'm going to go with Jenna as well. And whilst we're talking about Jenna doing so well, I don't know if her new head of goalkeeping's a miracle worker or if she just had an outstanding game, but she obviously done really well today. So obviously, as we're touched on there, we have got a new head of goalkeeping, which his name escapes me, so I'm just going to quickly check, unless any of you can remember. He's came for Hearts, we know that much.
The name does escape me, but looking at his pedigree, he looks to come with a pretty decent pedigree, so hopefully they'll benefit all the keepers he's going to work with. I'm not sure if Derek's still playing this season himself, and only part-time, so having somebody in there full-time will hopefully be a big benefit.
Yeah, definitely. I'll keep looking at that and we'll come back to it. But next week we've got Hibs away card. It's on BBC Alba. Tickets are available, but good luck to anybody navigating Hibs ticket system. But we need to kind of get out of this rut. We're going into the international break after Hibs, but we need to kind of put a marker down and get back to the form we were showing beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, we've always struggled a little bit against Hibs. It's always been tight games against them, which isn't filling me with much confidence with our previous 4 games performance-wise. So hopefully we pick that back up and just go and absolutely batter them, because that'd be nice for the confidence. I mean, Hibs have done pretty well to start the season so far. Got a 0-0 draw with Celtic, have been doing pretty well against teams scoring high-scoring games. So it's one that we really need to go out and keep it tight. That's the main thing. Keep it tight, and the front 3, front 2, Wilco, whoever's up front will do their job and score goals. Just have to keep it tight at the back. That's all we really need to do. So if we can do that, we'll be all right. But I'm not really full of confidence as I probably should be going into that game. But hopefully they prove me wrong.
Yeah, just jumping back for a second, it's Chris Flockhart who has been appointed head of women's and girls goalkeeping. So welcome to him. Sorry we forgot your name if you're watching, but we're just all very tired. Alan, obviously for the team next week, I think we need to kind of bring in some freshness. Maybe bring in Camille Lafay, Megan Bell, maybe start Jodie for the start, maybe.
Definitely, or I wouldn't be surprised to see Laura Rafferty brought in. We've not been on top of things defensively. Who drops out, I don't know, but I'd expect Jenna to keep the gloves. I think we need to settle that down a wee bit. Joe will probably stick with Charlie. I think we'd all look at something different, whereas dropping Kirsty Howitt back in there and going with front 3 again. Rio certainly got to have played a way back into the starting team with a performance today. And you want to see sort of more minutes for Kirsty McLean, even if it's coming on at half time again, or if it's playing the first half and then going off. But we certainly need to start far, far better. We need to get control of the game early on, because in a bit of dipping form, the last thing we want is to give Fab something to hold on to.
Yeah, so with that in mind, Car, score prediction?
I actually hadn't thought about that. I'll go 2-0, because I said 2-1 the last 2 games and it's turned out not to be true. And unlike you, I'm not going to predict a draw, so I'll go 2-0. And I keep saying that Mia's going to score first, so she's going to score first next week.
Well, we don't really draw against him, so I wouldn't predict a draw, but I really wish I had today, and that would have kept my scores up, but never mind. Alan, score prediction?
Carl stole my thunder because I was going to say 2-0, so I'll stick to my convictions. I'll say 2-0. Rio, first goal.
I'm going to go 3-1. I think we'll score a few more goals, but I think we'll still concede because their defence is shaky as anything, so I'll go 3-1. Also, this week we do have the training event car on Tuesday, which will be interesting to see what they're actually working on in training. But it's also a fun day thing, so I don't think they're going to be going fully in depth of what they're doing, but that should be quite fun to go along to.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make it to the last one because I didn't get a ticket, so it's nice to be able to go along this time and see what they're working on. Hopefully they actually show us what they are working on, because if they could put some corners into the box, that'd be nice, instead of this nonsense of the short corners, which worked for the first 3 games and now hasn't worked again since. So if we could just stick to putting balls into the box, and Wilco's good at headers, if we put them straight into her head, that'd be nice, into the back of the net. But it's a good occasion for the kids in that. I think that's more who it's aimed at. It's not really aimed at us, 30-year-old people going to it. But it's always nice to go along, see what's going on, and get some stuff signed in that from the players and be able to speak to them. So it should be good.
Alan's flattered that you're calling him 30-something.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
It's Halloween themed, so have you got your costume all sorted, Alan? I think you were going to go as Chelsea, weren't you?
No, I'm going straight for work, so no costume available.
Oh, always an excuse, always an excuse. But I think there is meant to be a prize for best dress, so Car, are you going as Joe? Fire out the orders?
No, I think I'll leave that to the kids and let them win the prize for that.
Yeah, maybe don't steal the sweeties off the kids. Anyway, well, if you are going to that, we will all be there, so say hello to us and enjoy the wee day, and then we'll be back to the lovely Meadowbank next Sunday. So hopefully we'll get back to winning ways ahead of the international break. And my thanks to Alan and Kat as always.
Thanks, Laura.
Next to both of you.
Perfect, and we'll see you next time.